Hello. Today we will take a look at how to install the motion wheel for a J43 cabinet. Tools required are as follows. You will need a 5.5mm socket, a 10mm socket, ratchet handle to fit sockets, 5/32 Allen wrench, Phillips screwdriver, and a step ladder. This will require no less than 2 persons to perform the task. The entire conversion should take approximately 1 hour to complete. Okay, let's start. Power down the EGM. If the EGM is a linear configuration, you will need to orient the EGM so that you can access the topper from the rear of the cabinet. Once powered down, we are ready to disassemble the topper assembly. Here we can start with removing the 2 cover panels from the rear of the topper. There are a total of 14 screws that need to be removed. You will need to place both covers in a safe location to prevent any damage. For the larger cover, you will need to disconnect the LED wire, disconnect the candle, and using your 5.5mm nut driver, remove the nut that secures the grounding strap. Once both covers are removed, we can now disconnect the following: the DP, the power for the monitor, the LED cable from the control board, and lastly, the 2 ground straps. After you've completed this, you will need assistance to perform the next task of removing the topper from the cabinet. Using your 5.5mm nut driver, there are a total of 7 screws that have to be removed. With one person removing the screws, the other person will be holding the monitor to ensure that it doesn't fall over. Once removed from the game, place in an area that will allow you to work more with the topper. Here we will add the extension bracket that came as part of the wheel kit. We will need to remove the current base so that we can mount the other. To start, when looking at the base, you will see 4 Phillips screws. Remove these and save for later. We are now ready to add the extension. Before this is completed, we need to remove the plate from the base of the new extension housing. There are 6 Phillips screws as you can see in the video. Remove these. Next, we need to ensure we have the orientation correct. As you look at the extension, you can see on the flat surface one end is rounded. When mounted, it will be the back of the cabinet, the opposite end, the front. Using the 4 screws we removed from the original mounting, align the holes of the extension bracket with the monitor opening and secure together. Once we have all 4 screwed in, we can now close up the extension by securing the plate we removed earlier. Prior to mounting the topper to the EGM, we will need to locate the extension cable for the candle and attach this to the existing cable in the cabinet. Now that this is completed, we will need the assistance of another person to lift the monitor, align it properly, pull the cables, and then secure the top of the EGM. Once all cables are pulled and the topper is secured, we are now ready to connect them. Connect the DP, power, and LED. Next, we will add the candle and the cover. Connect your candle and secure the grounding strap. Secure this cover with 7 of the Phillips screws removed earlier. Lastly, secure the middle cover of the back of the monitor with the remaining 4 screws. We are now ready to start the conversion of the monitor housing. In the kit, you will see a machine casting that has a wiring harness attached. We will use this in place of the one currently on the machine. To remove the original casting, we will need a Phillips screwdriver. There are a total of 6 screws up top and 3 additional screws on the right side of the cabinet when facing the EGM to the front. Remove the old casting. We also need to remove the angle bracket. As you recall, we removed 3 screws from the side of the monitor. This allows us to access and remove the old bracket. You will need your 10mm nut driver to remove the 3 nuts that secure the only mounting bracket to the back of the monitor. Pull from your kit the wheel control card mounting bracket and the braking resistor. Mount the braking resistor to the mounting bracket. This will be secured using 2 5.5mm nuts. Now install this in place of the one we just removed, and secure it with 3 10mm nuts. Next, we need to mount the wheel control board. In the kit, we will have 4 small screws. Make certain to use all 4. This helps with the grounding. Now we can add on the new casting. When putting the casting on, ensure you do not pinch any wires. Secure to cabinet. From the casting, there are 4 cables. Each has a specific port location. The insert illustrates where each connection goes from the monitor wheel control board. Connect all cables. Next, we can reinstall the remaining screws from the casting and the mounting bracket. This completes installing the motion wheel control board and new casting. Now we need to route the USB and power cable. For the power and USB, you will route it to the left of the control board. Be sure to use the existing cable stays to keep the wires from damage. As you can see, we routed it so it follows the cable channel, then down the back of the cabinet, giving us the ability to plug the USB into any available port and the power into any available power port on the back plane. See Insert. We are now ready to install the strut system. This is in place to add extra support for the motion wheel itself. To accomplish this task, you will need the 5.5mm socket wrench and the 5/32 Allen head wrench. As being demonstrated in the video, we're starting with the top bracket. Using the Allen wrench, remove the 3 Allen screws as pointed out. Once removed, put the bracket in place and secure. Apply a decent amount of torque, but not overpowering. Now we can prepare the bottom bracket. In the kit, you will see 2 5.5mm nuts. Using one, secure the bottom bracket to the strut. Orient the bracket with the strut to where, when it's placed, the standoffs align with the openings of the bracket. Once in place, Secure the bracket to the cabinet using the two 5.5mm nuts we just removed. Last thing to do for the strut is secure it to the top bracket. Using the same nut we used to secure the strut to the bottom bracket, do the same for the top. We are down to our final part of the conversion, adding the motion wheel. To mount this in place, you will need your 10mm nut driver and your Phillips screwdriver. With the assistance of another person, lift and align the wheel to the standoff on the casting, and align with the opening on the wheel. Secure to casting. Next, we need to connect the following wires: LED, power, and motor. There's an additional cable that is for future use. The LED cable will connect to the right of the motor on the wheel. The other two cables from the motor will connect to the casting. Once this has been completed, we can now put the back cover on the wheel, install software, and option the cabinet to test. Thank you for taking the time to view this video.